This is Paul. Yes. Just looking at the cracks in the road. Oh. A lot of these counties, yes. They're always concerned about the quality of the roads that they have, and quite often they tax the population to be able to repair them or put new roads in. Pooch. I had read during the 1950s when Eisenhower was president, yes, they put in the national highway system, and it's quite a system, really. You can drive from the west coast to the east coast without really having to stop. I mean, there might be a few places where there's a toll bridge or something, but somebody had planned on putting in a whole highway system throughout the United States, and you know how important it is to get from point A to point B, and I've been trying to get my rights enforced. Now, when we talk about these lawsuits, and I'm going to sue this state and every state of the United States because of the full faith and credit, ooh, and then the PKPA. Oh, did you want to give me my sons today? Now, there will be a lot less money for road work. I'm sorry, that's going to be painful on the cars that have to drive through the potholes, but you made the decision to refuse to enforce the laws. I made the decision to make sure to sue you for any and all assets, anything I can get my hands on. So why don't you get me all the contracts for all the roads, ooch, the streets, yes, the highways, the freeways, oh, the aqueducts or the aqueducts. Now you're doing quite a project over there in Seattle, aren't you? Oh, we might have to stop all work on all roadways until you have. Well, did you think that I was just gonna let you keep my sons, you stupid fucking piece of shit? Now you didn't give any due process since 2011, and you've acted like you can do whatever the fuck you want. Now, why don't you get me all those employees of each and every one of those companies that they derive their income from the actual repair of roads? Yes. And then all those state inspectors that when they show up, oh, you better have built the road according to the actual regulations of the state because they'll make you tear it up. Some of these mistakes can be very expensive. Yes. Let's say you built one of these highways wrong. Pooh, I'm sorry. The actual asphalt isn't dense enough. There's not an oh. Could you get me all the testing facilities of any and all building materials that have to be compliant with the actual regulations? Regulations! Now, my thought is I'm suing you for the actual amount of money that you're spending on roads. Pooch, there won't be any road improvements. Oh, now, for some stupid fucking reason, you thought that you could violate the laws of the United States, and we don't have to enforce Davis-Bacon rules, do we, unions? Pooh! In fact, why don't you get me the retirements of the non-union companies that do have 401ks? Yes. See, when you pay Davis Bacon, you don't have to belong to a union. You just have to pay the prevailing wage. But I think there's some contractual obligation for the retirements. Yes. I just wanted to know of all the investments that are made in non-union retirement plans for all of those contractors. Yeah, that are obligated to pay prevailing wages because that's what Davis Bacon is. Pooh! I wanted to know the actual assets of each and every one of those companies for the last 40 years. Yes. And then all the employees that didn't have to be unionized. Wait a second. You don't have to enforce the state regulations for road building. Pouch! You don't have to enforce the state laws for due process. And you can sit there every fucking